Scott McTominay. If you've been paying attention to the recent events of the football world, you've probably heard the name quite a bit. Napoli's Scudetto hero, a fan favourite on the streets in Naples, the Pope's best mate. The interesting part is, about a year ago, things were very different for Scott McTominay. He was playing his football at a struggling Man United, and although he was getting minutes, he wasn't exactly respected by the Old Trafford faithful. It seemed like the only time he was being talked about was negative. It's not that everyone hated him, but I don't think there were loads of people getting McTominay printed on the back of their shirt. Fast forward a year, and that's exactly what's happening. Oh, and it's happening at one of the biggest clubs in Europe. It's not like he took a step down or anything, so I guess the question is, how did Scott McTominay become a cultural hero? Scott McTominay left Man United. There it is. Plain simple. Video over. The peculiar thing is, this isn't the first time McTominay was respected at these levels. Sure, he was just another player at United, but when he represents Scotland at international level, he's very much a cult hero. And not only are the respect levels up, but the performances reflected this. Whether it be a brace against Spain in March 2023 to give the Scots a decisive win Euro qualifying, or his 12 goals and 61 international appearances, it seems like McTominay was a different player when he put a Scotland shirt on. And the reason for this isn't too complicated either. Under McTominay's 255 appearances for Man United, 134 of them were played in defensive midfield. That's 52%. And most notable after that is centre mid, which he played in for 90 games. Although Steve Clark tended to play McTominay in a defensive midfield as well, he was more experimental with him, and this led to an impact on Eric Ten Hag utilizing for Man United. Throughout a 10-game span for Scotland between June of 2023 and March of 2024, which would be during his final season at Man United, Scott McTominay played 4 of his 10 Scotland games in either centre or attacking mid. In the 2023-24 season for United, McTominay played 16 games in defensive midfield and 19 in either centre or attacking mid. Now, you're probably thinking, club managers get loads more time with their players than international managers. McTominay playing more attacking at Scotland was likely a result of the fact he was starting to play more of an attacking role at United and not the other way around. This is where it gets really interesting. In the 2022-23 season at United, McTominay played 31 games at holding mid for United and just 3 at centre mid. This was the same season that Clark started experimenting with him as an attacking midfielder, and the same season when he scored that decisive brace against Spain. Clark saw the attacking instinct of McTominay when he was solely a defensive option for United, and this is why when he would make the move to Napoli, things would never be the same. In the summer 2024 transfer window, Napoli lost central midfielder Piotr Zielinski as well as defensive midfielder Diego Dema on free transfers. With big names such as Kvaratskhelia and Victor Osimhen also departing the club, Antonio Conte knew he had some work to do in the summer transfer window. Napoli needed a rebuild, and the midfield was no exception. Philip Billing, Luis Hassa, and Billy Gilmore also made their way to Naples to bolster the midfield in the summer of 2024, as well as McTominay. The key part of this is the last name, Billy Gilmore. Not only was Conte drawn to the Scottish duo and how pivotal they had been for Scotland during Euro 2024 qualifying, but Gilmore is a defensive midfielder. Conte's preferred formation is a 3-5-2, and he usually uses the wing-backs as extra defensive coverage in the midfield. This means that he only needs one holding midfielder. Because of this, it wouldn't make sense to bring in 2 high-profile holding midfielders in the same window. This meant that he didn't bring in McTominay for his defensive services. He saw what he had to offer in an attacking sense, and was ready to tap into that potential full-time. Scott McTominay made 39 appearances for Napoli during his debut season. He played 32 games at centre mid, 6 games at attacking mid, and a game at left wing. Because why the hell not? He had 13 goals and 6 assists, which is 6 more goal involvements and 4 less games when compared to his last season at Man United, when he played an attacking role the majority of the season. Conte knew what McTominay could offer in an attacking sense, and he knew that Napoli's rebuild was a perfect chance to take advantage of this, and the results speak for themselves. After winning the league in the 2022-23 season, Napoli finished the 2023-24 season 10th in the Serie A table. Although they made many positive moves in the summer transfer window, with the departures of Victor Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, it looked like it could be a while until silverware came back to Naples. I don't even think the most optimistic of Napoli fans would have anticipated their 4th Serie A title being delivered after they finished just a point above Inter in the title race this season. And as immense as his contributions were on the pitch, this is only half the tale of the Scott McTominay redemption story. While McTominay was at United, not only was he balling out to Scotland, but he was a fan favourite for Scotland. His role was completely different for his club side, so the fan reaction wasn't really the same either. So when he became the epicenter of an exciting, rejuvenated Napoli side, it made sense that the fans were on board too. And it was this way from the very beginning. When Napoli first signed McTominay, a Neapolitan Glaswegian pizza chef created a pizza called the Gil McTominay in honor of both Scott McTominay and Billy Gilmore. The pizza is a tomato base and topped with mozzarella and haggis, an ode to the Scottish duo gracing Naples. It only accelerated from here. The Napoli faithful only fell in love with him even more. They gave him the nickname McFratum, which translates to McBro. Napoli fans started bringing Scottish flags to games and even wearing kilts. One Napoli fan even got a McFredham tattoo, and a former religious shrine in Naples was dedicated to the Scotsman after Napoli claimed their 4th Serie A title this year. And as incredible as the support for McTominay has been, it isn't exactly surprising when you boil it down. Napoli fans are a very passionate bunch, to say the very least, not only about their club, but about their city. When McTominay embraced this from the very beginning, it was only natural that Napoli faithful reciprocated the love. McTominay and Gilmore are also the first Scottish players to play for Napoli. It's only natural that the fans find this exciting, and it seems like the duo were just as excited as them. Naples is one of those places where football is more than a game, and footballs are more than just people. Another foreign player who embraced the Neapolitan way was Diego Maradona. He signed with Napoli at a time when South American players playing in Europe wasn't as common as it is today. In fact, when the Argentine joined Napoli in 1985, he was one of 2 non-Italian players in the entire squad. Perhaps what's happening now is reminiscent of that. A player coming in from a potentially unfamiliar and exciting background, embracing the Napoli way, fighting for the badge, as well as putting in superb performances week in and week out. Did I just compare Scott McTominay to Diego Maradona? Yes. Yes, I did. Maybe they'll name this stadium after him one day. Transforming a player, as well as a side, getting stuck into a new culture, completely rewriting a legacy in the span of a year. There's many factors that have accelerated Scott McTominay into the status of a cultural icon over the span of the past year. Thank you very much for watching, and be sure to let me know your theory in the comments.